Hi guys, Will here. Today we've got a video for you on oiling a tabletop. This is a follow-up from our last video about sanding, how to sand a tabletop. This is now, once you've sanded it, what to do, what products to use. We tend to use Osmo. We're also distributors for these, so if you do want to buy any of these, just go to our website and you'll find what you need. The products that we use are Osmo wood protector, which is like a sealant for the tabletops, and also Pollex oil. This comes in 4 different sheen levels. You sort of need you'll cover about 24 meters squared per litre. We use it as a roll-on technique, which works really well. Okay, so things we're going to need: rolling tray, roller. The rolling tray will just help you get a nice even spread over your roller. The roller that we're going to use is a microfiber 4mm nap, which means it's just nice and thin. You'll get this at most of your big hardware stores, but 100mm wide. It's not too big, but it's not too small. We've got our wood protector, which we'll show you first, then our Osmo Pollex oil. The Pollex oil is available in 4 different sheens: satin, gloss, matte and semi-sheen. And anyway, let's just get into it and we'll go from there. Okay, so wood protector first. Step 1. We want to put a fair bit of this on, so just give it a quick shake, get it all the residue off the bottom. This is brand new, so it's pretty ready to go, but I'm just going to pop this open and we'll put it into this rolling tray. The rolling tray is really good just to get a nice even distribution over your whole roller. So most of you guys, if you're just doing one table, you're probably only going to get 750 mils of this, and that'll be plenty. But what we want to do is just load up your roller and then get a nice even distribution into your roller. And then we're really going to probably lay this on a lot thicker than what you'd think. Nice long strokes, but just keep going with the grain. That way you won't have any streak lines along at the end of your project. So edges, just be wary, keep a cloth with you. Don't use too much on your edges, it'll fold over and give you a run on your other side. So probably use a little bit less on your edges. It's not going to be a big area of water damage, so just get enough on there that it's covered. So here we are, loading it up again. Get it nice and even, and then back on. Trying to keep that wet edge. Don't let it dry too much, otherwise your lines will show up at the end. Okay, so if you're thinking about not getting a roller tray for the sake of $5, don't. Just get one. It'll be worthwhile. You'll get a nice even spread through your roller. Obviously I'm not encouraging waste, but you will use it again down the track at some point if you've made it this far with your sanding. So just go to that extra little trouble along your edges, nice and neat. Go to that extra trouble and get a paint tray. So once you've got it fully covered, now you just want to pick up a light reflection somewhere, and then you'll notice where the dry spots are. If you follow that light position right the way up the table, all the way across it, you'll find your dry spots. So just get down low, use that light to find where the dry spots are, and just run over them. You'll walk up and back and look like a weirdo, but it'll be good. With your end grain as well, it's going to be a lot thirstier, because if you think of end grain as a big pile of straws, all your oil is going to get down in there. So you may have to come back and just do an extra few runs over your end grain just to make sure that it's soaked in nice and deep. Right, so that is our wood protector. You put it on quite liberally. It will soak in and it will dry. You're going to want to leave it for at least 12 to 24 hours. 12 hours if you've got the right conditions, it's nice and warm, but in these colder conditions like in Orange, just leave it for that full 24 hours. You'll feel it soak right in, and it'll have this really deep matte luster at the end of it. and then you'll be ready for your final coat. Okay, so wood protector's done. Here is one we prepared earlier. This was done yesterday, 24 hours break in between. You can see it's a nice flat finish. When you are finishing with your wood protector, you will notice different points in the timber are soaking in at a different rate. It's not necessarily a dry spot. You don't need to keep rolling it in. Just let it go. As long as it's got a coat on it, it's going to soak in and it'll be just fine. So now we're going to step into our Pollex oil. This is a matte finish with a rapid. Rapid we use in the cooler climates just so it dries a lot quicker. So yeah, this is a matte finish. We're going to pop it open and we're going to give it a really good stir. You want to stir for at least 3 to 5 minutes with a flat paddle. So we just got an old piece of timber, pop the top, give it a good stir. Into your tray, same thing. Just use that tray. It's so great for evening out your load in your roller, and then you'll be right from there. Okay, so as you can see here, matte finish, quite milky, so don't freak out when you open it up. It's quite normal, but just make sure you use your flat paddle to give it a really good stir. Bring up all the goodness from the bottom, the sediment that may have flattened out over time, so just get right in there. Otherwise you could end up in a bit of trouble with wrong penetrations down the track. So just give it a really good stir for 2, 3, the longer the better. Okay, so 2.5 litre, you may not be using this much, but if you are, just same thing. Into the tray, clean up all your spills. You're going to make a mess, let's be honest, but that's all right. Stick that somewhere put that somewhere where you're not going to kick it, is my tip, because I have kicked them over before. Anyway, load up your roller again. See, nice even loading of the roller. Roll it out, and now you're ready to oil. So same thing, you want to put it on liberally to start, but less is better. Okay, just remember less is more. So if you're worried about not putting on enough, you're probably doing it just right. If you're really worried, if you aren't putting enough on, you're going to pick it up in the second coat. If your second coat's not enough, you'll pick it up in a possible third if you need it. When you are rolling on, keep it in the roll of the direction of the grain. Try not to go across it, otherwise you may get lines against your grain. If you get lines that are with your grain, you're probably not going to see it as much. So we've just got full application on the top. Now we just want to go along just with a little bit of pressure. This is what the painters will call tipping off. So not too much that you're going to leave lines, but just enough to make it nice and even. If you have got too much on and you are leaving lines in this tip off stage, what you're going to do is work all the way back to one side, and then you're actually going to use this roller slightly to the side. Not this much like I'm showing you, but just that little bit. So your lightest spot will always be the furthest away from you. Your most pressure will be closest to you. This will alleviate any streaks or runs or lines that you'll be leaving with the roller. In these corners, you do have a little flat spot on up here, so you can use that to really get into corners. But see that over roll? That's fine, just make sure you roll it out. It's designed not to need sanding in between coats, but we do. Okay, so there we go. That's your first coat of Pollex oil. It is a system based on not having to sand in between coats. Us, as furniture makers, we do. We give a very quick wipe down with 800 grit, 1200 grit's even better, and then just in the direction of the grain, you'll really feel any of those really high spots pop up, and before your second coat, they'll be knocked out, and then that'll give you a really flat playing field for your second coat. After your second coat, 24 hours between each coat, but after your second coat, grab a 2000 grit sandpaper from somewhere like Super Cheap and then give it just one quick swipe with 2000 grit and it'll come up smooth as a baby's bottom. So that's pretty much our oiling process. Get in and give it a go and I'm sure you won't be disappointed. Thanks.